So today I am doing another food storage task, and that is getting my freezer corn ready for this summer. So last summer we did freezer corn with my mom, and the corn, we still have another bag out there that we need to finish using up, I think. So it lasts a good year, and we did, I can't even remember how many dozen we did last year, but I only got 5 dozen this year. That's still 60 ears of corn, so it's still a heck of a lot of corn. So right now I've got my first batch of corn over there on the stove, and they are going to be boiling for about 4 to 5 minutes. I'll pull them out, put some more in, we're gonna blanch those. When you blanch them after they've boiled, the ears of corn, it helps to kind of freeze the cooking process. It stops the cooking process. You get to keep some of that bright yellow color, and you get like the peak flavor moment for the corn. So we're shucking the corn, and then you're boiling it. Those are our first 2 steps. This is like a 5-step or less process. So you shuck your corn, make sure everything's off of it, boil it for 5 minutes, shock it in ice water, cut the corn off, put it in a freezer safe bag, and seal it, and you're good. Literally, it's that easy to do. So I'm gonna finish shucking all of this corn. I've already got a lot of it shucked and some of it already actually going. And then I will touch base in a second. All right, I am about ready to finish my last 3 or 4 ears of corn here, getting the shucks off of them. I've already been able to take 1 pot full of corn out. My burner that's closer to me is not wanting to boil the water, so just turned it up a little bit, messed around with it, moved it around. Otherwise, we're gonna keep rolling in that other pot. I'm saving all of this. I've already taken some out to my chickens, but chickens will eat this. It's not nutrient rich, but it's a good belly filler. So, feed them still their actual feed that's gonna give them the nutrients that they need. But this is just a good little filler, little snack. This is not replacing their food, but again, we don't wanna waste it. Some of these ears of corn are not like perfect, which is fine. Some of the ends are kind of, either underdeveloped or just not good. I'm ripping those off. A couple of them, I've only thrown away 1 whole ear of corn. I'm not super concerned about if there's a few little I call it a dead spot, I don't know what you would call it, dead spots right here in the middle. So I've got my last ear of corn here. I'm gonna get all of this in a couple of bags. I've already taken them out 1 load. This would be 2 times that amount. So I'll put more of this out tomorrow for them, and then the following day, and then we'll be all done with those. But I don't wanna just throw them away. So we're gonna go over there, and we will start pulling stuff out and processing it. All right, so I just turned off the timer, the 5-minute timer. This batch of corn's ready to come out. So I'm just gonna move the corn that I had already blanched over into this bowl. This water in here is now very hot because it's not a lot of water that you're putting in there. And I don't have the kind of ice to do this over and over and over again, so I'm just putting cold water. I'm just processing cold water in and out. So I'm gonna move this corn over here. I've got some fresh cold water that I will use to blanch this round of corn. So we're gonna take this corn out, and we're gonna just move the next bit of corn on in here, bring it back up to a boil, and start the timer for 5 minutes again. And then I'll move on here shortly and show you what we're doing after this step, after the boiling step. All right, so I've got my last batches of corn in my pots here. What I'm going to do right now, I've got everything getting kind of just prepping as my corn comes out, cools down, and putting it in this pan. And what I'm doing is I'm finding ears of corn that are they're very healthy looking, good size. What these are gonna do, I'm not going to cut the kernels off of all of the cobs. I'm actually gonna leave some as corn on the cob and freeze it in some of those bags. So I'm kind of going through right now and just looking for some really good, healthy corn cobs. And honestly, I'll probably even throw some smaller ones in there because I've got littles. And they will, I say littles, 2 junior high and a kindergartner. So they'll want some corn on the cob too, but they don't always want a whole piece. So I'm just kind of going through, trying to find some of the better pieces that I don't want to, or that would be good for corn on the cob, you know, that people aren't going to want to skip over. So that's what I'm doing right now. Those will go in gallon-sized freezer bags. And then the corn that I cut off the cob, I'm going to put into quart-sized freezer-safe bags. So I've got some selected here now, and I'm just going to start putting it in. You don't have to add anything to it, literally. You just put it in a bag, and you're all set. So I'm going to do a whole bag of some good-sized corn here. And what I do is I try to make sure I can lay it all out flat so that when I seal it, it's ready to go into the freezer flat, not all over the place there. So there's that. So there's that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do one with some of my smaller ones and some bigger ones. So we'll do one with, let's see, we'll do it this way. 3 and 2 that are, then literally you just seal it up. You want to get out as much of the air as you possibly can. But I'm going to put today's date on them. That way in a year, I know how old they are, and I'm not trying to eat them like a year and a half down the road. Up to about 12, 13, 14 months, you're good. You don't want to try to push that all the way out to like 18 months. The last batch is going in the pot there. I've got the rest of it all here. I did 3 bags of corn on the cob. So what I'm doing now is I am taking each of the cobs and I am just cutting the corn right off of them. You don't want to cut too close to the end here or to the inside. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, but you don't want to have all that. That's the extra starchy part. And then when you cook it, it's going to be really starchy, similar, almost like you're on the way to creamed corn. And I'm doing this so I can hold it up. This is not a good, safe way to hold this, but I wanted to show you how I'm cutting this. So you'll see you're just cutting it off like that. And you're gonna put it in I'm just gonna do all of these at once, and then once they've all been cut, then I'm gonna scoop all of the corn into some freezer safe quart-sized bags. And you can do however much in each bag that you want to. If you are a small family or a couple or single, you could do a sandwich size freezer bag and do a smaller portion, then you'd get more bags. We have a whole family to feed, so we do quart-sized bags, just enough to get us through for one whole meal. And but yeah, you could do smaller bags, larger bags, however, or if you want to do a gallon size of it, maybe you host a lot at the holidays and you know you're going to use at least a gallon size full of corn for one of your meals. Go ahead, doesn't hurt nothing. So that's what I'll be doing. I'm going to cut all these up and then I'll show you the end result. All right, that was a lot of work. This hand where I was using the knife, super sore. But as you can see, it's all taken care of now. So all I'm gonna do, I've got my 1 cup measuring cup. You don't have to measure. So I just use my 1 cup measuring cup, and I will put about 2 cups in each of my freezer safe bags. And then I will seal them up, press out as much of the air as I can, and then freeze them. Literally, it's that easy. So I'll post a picture of this here as soon as I get all of them filled up. Here we are. I just pressed the air out as I sealed it. We're good to go. So what I'll do is as I lay them out, I'm gonna lay them out as flat as I can. I'm gonna put them in a pan to put in the freezer. That way they all freeze in nice little packets like that. Very good space saver. So enjoy. I hope this was helpful. This is the first time I've done it on my own. Super easy. Last year I did it with my mom. Again, it was nice to have someone to talk to during the process when I was doing it with my mom. But it's easy enough. You do not need 2 sets of hands. You only need 1 set of hands, and you're good. So let me know if you guys do any other. One day I'm gonna use a pressure canner. I might put that on my Christmas list this year, just because I feel like that's something I want to learn, but it's scary to me still at this point. So we'll see when I get brave enough. All right, well, there's the driveway alarm, which means Matt's home. And that's good because I'm gonna just wrap this up and then call it a day. See you later.